Hey everybody, this is Clint Arthur coming to you live from Hollywood, California. That's where I am. You know, we could have played, it's been a while since we could have played Where in the World is Clint Arthur? That used to be everybody's favorite game show. That was a really good game show. But I gave it away already. No sense in making you guess when I just said where I am. Traveling quite a bit. Oh my God, the world, you know, people like us, Maggie's been to Acapulco so many times. Olga's been to Acapulco so many times. Nisani's been to Acapulco. Angela's been to Acapulco. I know Leon Bree was in Moscow. I would like to get a little field report from Moscow. That would be interesting. Ted traveled around with us. We were just at a conference in New Orleans where we met Christine Kelchen. And there she is. Who's that kid hiding back there?
This is Bo.
That's Bo.
This is my baby.
Wow, he's climbing right up there. You talk yet, Bo?
Yeah.
Yep. What do you have to say for yourself?
You can say hi.
Wow, it's kind of like if Nova was here, she would climb right up too, I guess. I don't know. But people are like, I don't know how many of you saw my video, Celebrity Entrepreneurs Adventure number 161, which was the wrong number. I just didn't realize I was up. I'm up to like 199. I'm up to 200, something like that. I need to make another one that's 200. But we were at this conference in New Orleans and people are like all freaked out about being in public. People are all freaked out about being, without a mask. People are wearing masks. I was walking around in the airport in Phoenix, Arizona. I was changing planes to come to LA, and then in Los Angeles, and I was the only person not wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask in the airport, right? And I had my whole line ready for these people if they were going to mess with me. If anybody said anything to me, I was going to say, I'm eating right now. See, I'm eating. Okay. I'm allowed not to wear a mask if I'm eating. I'm eating right now. I'm chewing, that's what I was going to say. But nobody messed with me. Nobody said anything to me. I just saw all these people looking at me because I was the only one not wearing a mask. And as I walked by them or past them on the moving sidewalk, I went like this. Bah! That's what I was doing throughout the whole Phoenix airport, okay? Because all these people are sheep. Don't be a sheep. How are you ever going to be a leader if you're a sheep? By definition, sheep are just followers. And if you're a sheep in one place in your life, you're going to be a sheep in another place in your life. That's part of the reason why I quit drinking. I used to drink alcohol from, say, 7 p.m. until 1:30 in the morning every day, right? And so that's 1/3 of my day drinking. And then next morning I'm waking up, I'm hungover, I know I'm impaired. It all carries over. You can't be a sheep in one area of your life and a leader in the other. And all of us here, everyone in our community is leaders. This is all about being a leader who can have more impact, influence, and income. That's what this is about. One moment.
I love that background.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's from the 15 Minutes of Fame story conference. And the next story conference is going to be called the Internet's Greatest Storyteller Competition. And all of you who are in MBA will be finalists. You'll be an official finalist in the Internet's Greatest Storytelling Competition. See, I just invented that. You can't be a sheep and be a leader at the same time. And really, this is all about being the leader that you always wanted to be, being the standout person that you've always wanted to be. I was watching, my God, did any of you watch my Sunset Story about Bill Clinton? I reposted it recently. Oh my God, it was so good. I was amazed. No, really, truly, Maggie, I was amazed at how great this story was. And the reason why it was so great is because I started in such an unexpected place. See, I started with taking my daughter to college admission, to college on a college tour, right? That's where I started. Do you remember it now? I mean, I just watched it the other day. And look, guys, it's about stories. And I know this is about getting on TV. And I'm looking forward to reviewing some clips. I hope some of you have some clips for me to review. But ultimately, it comes down to story. Comes down to, what is the story? I mean, information is great. Information is great, but story is better. And I realized that when I was thinking about all of the different Harvard events that we did. We did 5 Harvard events. And at those 5 Harvard events, I knew, like, of the, maybe there was, 600 people who spoke at Harvard, thanks to me and Allie. And of those 600, I knew every single person's story. And I knew every single person, except I remember very clearly there was about 3 people whose names I called. And I'm like, the name sounded familiar, but then I look at them and I'm like, who the heck is that person? I have no idea who they were. And then they go up there and they say some lame speech. And I realized just recently that the people I did not know were the people whose stories I did not know. Because when I know a person's story, I know the person. This is a really essential concept that you have to get. See, until a client or a prospect knows your story, you're a commodity. You're just like every other dentist, roofer, speaker, physician, insurance salesman, gas station, accountant, consultant. You're exactly the same as all of your competition until they know your story. And as soon as they know your story, I guarantee you they don't know anybody else's story. They don't know anybody else's story. You know how many I've gone to, I mean, you think about all of the service providers that you have gone to in your life. Think about your dentist. Do you know your dentist's story? Do you know your chiropractor's story? Do you know your accountant's story? You don't know any of their stories. Do you know your contractor's story who's building an addition or redoing your roof? Do you know any of this stuff? You don't. And when you do know their story, well, then the whole world opens up for that person, because it is so hard to change horses when you know the horse's story. It's impossible. It really is impossible. Yeah. That's why your story has to be playing in the waiting room on a loop about What screwed up thing happened to you that made you who you are? And if that could be, no, really, what screwed up weird thing happened to you that transformed you into the superstar that you are today? And if that can be on TV, well, so much the better. If that can be on TV, then so much the better.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You always want us to start with the dramatic part of the story so that we grab attention right away. But that story, you start talking about your daughter, and then it takes a left turn to Clinton, which is fantastic. So it like grows as you tell it. Which do you prefer us to do?
It's a good point. Well, there's two ways to start any story. The first way is with a character in crisis. That's what you're talking about. A character in crisis. The second way is with a fascinating character revelation. Okay?
Yeah.
So that story starts out with character revelation. I celebrity entrepreneur am taking my daughter on a tour of Ivy League colleges. And I take her to my alma mater and she has the best time. In fact, she has such a great time that she decides she doesn't want to go there because she thinks she would have too much fun. You know, which is the craziest thing of all. She's like, oh my God, I had so much fun. I don't think I want to go here. This is too much of a party school. It's like, I can't win. I can't win for losing. You know, I just can't win with that kid.
You got everybody bonded to you at that point.
I can't win with that kid. I really can't. I love the way in the story I refer to her as my darling daughter, which is something that came from doing a story with Dr. Lali Shaban. And I know this might, you know, I know it might freak her out every now and then when I do this, but she told me a story about her dad when her dad had Alzheimer's, and you know, he almost burnt down the house because he was barbecuing shish kebabs in his living room on the outdoor barbecue grill. He was cooking shish kebabs in his living room, and the flames were going up. He's watching his girlfriend Pamela Anderson on Baywatch, right? But he always used to refer to her as his darling daughter, my darling daughter, my darling daughter. So that's what I always say to her whenever I call her up. She answers the phone. I go, my darling daughter. I know I probably shouldn't do it because he's dead, you know, but that's a voice from the grave coming at you. This webinar was sponsored by a dead man. Thank you, Dr. Shaban's father. Thank you.
You can't resist a good line. I mean, that's just great.
My darling daughter. So that's what that one is. And look, remember when you were down in Acapulco, I gave you the storytelling formula, right? What happened? What did you say? What did they say? What did you think? And how did you feel? That's the formula, right? Now, the real genius of, I mean, I've been really loving these stories from the Sunset Stories. Everyone that comes up, I'm going to repost it, and you should watch them because they were really, really good. Because I start each of these stories in such an unexpected place and then wrap around to where it is. Oh my God. I tell you, Maggie, that Bill Clinton story was so good that I'm scared to try to do it again in Venice, that I won't do as good a job. I know. It was so good. It's on my Facebook.
If you're afraid, you must. Was
Yeah,
that what Ali
thank you.
reminded you of? You're
Thank you. That's very good. It's on my Facebook page, so you can find it. or it's on Celebrity Entrepreneurs Alumni or something like that. So there you go. Anyway, does anybody besides Dave Nasani have a clip that they want me to watch? Does anybody other than Dave Nasani have a clip they want me to watch? And by the way, Dave Nasani, your background with all those pictures, it's not laid out right. It's laid out, it's only taking up 1/3 of the screen. See how I have all these pictures behind me? Yours is not like that. Yours is only, yours is only here. Got to fix it. Right? If anybody else has a clip that they would like me to review, please type your name in the chat and I'll be happy to call on you. In the meantime, Dave, if you have your most recent gasoline segment, I'd like to review it. If you could put the link in the chat, that would be really great.
All right.
That's
you
better.
Don't want to go to you don't want to go to YouTube, do you?
Yeah, I want to go to YouTube. Just put the link in the chat.
All right, I kind of got my hands full. I got my hands full. You see there?
All right, Dave, what's the title of this segment?
There's 4 of them. Which one do you want?
Latest one.
Latest one would be the second one to the last. They're in order. Go to the. It's not Virginia or Vermont. Make it a multiple choice for me.
Fox, Virginia, CBS, Illinois.
Do Illinois.
Illinois. All right. Here we go.
WHBF is local for East Moline and local for you. This is Local 4 News at 4.
We've noticed gas prices climb over the last few weeks. Here are some of the lowest prices around the Quad Cities in Illinois. You can get regular unleaded at the Circle K on 24th Street in Rock Island for $2.88. In Iowa, the Quick Star at 53rd Avenue in Bettendorf has it for $2.56 a gallon. That's quite a bit higher than a couple of months ago. One person who knows how to save money on gas is someone who owns a gas station. David Nasani wrote a book about it called Get Hosed. He joins us live now on Zoom with some advice. Thanks so much for your time, David.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. So excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Everybody seems to be talking about gas prices. This is my 44th interview.
Yeah, it is one of those popular topics from time to time, especially when they go up. So how did you get into the gas station business?
Well, I come from a long line of gas station owners. My father was the first one to start. Right out of the war, he opened a station in the Bronx, New York. It got too cold. We moved to California in 1960. One by one, all our relatives would come and visit us, and they wouldn't go home. So he would just set them up in business. And after a while, cousins, uncles, brothers, nephews, you name it, all are in the business, and eventually me. And after 42 years, I am still here at this location behind me, and they're all gone.
Amazing. So what are the 5 mistakes drivers make when they get gas?
Hey, look, now who doesn't like that? I mean, that was really great. That's Dave Nasani and the Nasani Gas Dynasty story. That's really good. And he liked it too. It's just a little bit of a warm up to get to know the guest, to provide some context for the guest. And then it leads him right into his question. So what are some of the mistakes?
Yeah, well, I say don't be a chump at the pump. You want to avoid these 5 costly mistakes that motorists make. Mistake number 1, should I get regular or should I get premium? Well, unless you are driving a high performance or luxury vehicle, don't waste your money putting extra 30, 40 cents in a car that was probably designed for regular. Read your owner's manual. Costly mistake number 2 is cheap gas, really cheaper. Some of these smaller independents, they may seem cheaper, but they got to buy gas wherever they can get it. And sometimes they'll come across a contaminated fuel. And if that ever makes it into your gas tank, boy, you can kiss that engine goodbye because it's unrepairable. Stick with the majors, stick with the larger independents, like a Costco. You'll wait in line, of course. Tip number 3, check your oil. Yes, check your oil every month. Most people don't ever do it. And make sure you change it every 2 to 4 times a year, because if you don't, old oil is going to hamper your performance of your vehicle. Costly mistake number 4, tire pressure. A lot of people don't realize that tire pressure, underinflated, overinflated tires can cost you in gas mileage, can cost you in car performance, tire life, cut it in half. And worst of all, deadly accidents. Hello. Costly mistake number 5, those yellow lights on your dashboard. Yellow means caution, danger, Will Robinson. Have a mechanic check your engine because, they call them idiot lights for a reason. So don't be one. And that's why I wrote my book, Getting Hosed, Secret Confessions of a Gas Station Owner. My gas station is sitting at the bottom of this hill, and people don't go shopping around and looking at my price sign when they want my gas, because I got the highest pricing in the country because I'm in California. No, they coast down the hill because they're on fumes. Their gas stage is on empty. Their bladders are on full, and they're tired. They're falling asleep. So I've got the cleanest restrooms and a reputation for the best espresso. In fact, one time this tractor trailer lost their brakes coming down the hill. They pulled into my station, crashed into the building. I had dead chickens everywhere. I had live chickens running around. Eggs were being fried on the hot summer asphalt. I rounded all the chickens up, put them in the men's room. Don't worry, I put the hens in the ladies' room. And we made the headlines that day. Ku Klux Klan. So a lot of stories like that in my book, and great money-saving tips. I say if you want to save a lot of this money, don't be a chump at the pump.
You've got some great stories, David. One more thing quickly. How about, what kind of reaction do you get from people when you tell them that you're a gas station owner? Because it is kind of controversial, right?
I'm the most popular guy in town, especially during the gas shortage in 1979, because everybody wanted to get, sneak in line so they didn't have to wait in a mile-long line. These days, with gas prices going up, they think they're going to get a discount. And, I do give family discounts to my daughter and my wife. But, anything else, I don't know. Got to pay the bills.
Yeah, David, I remember that gas shortage in 79. David and Sandy, thanks so much for the conversation. Enjoy California.
Wow, Dave, that was very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a good coach.
You've come a long way with that segment. I think you're good.
You don't know how long I've been waiting for you to say that.
That was really good, man. Seriously.
Yeah, you originally told me when I started, you said, gee, Dave, if you get 8 or 9 of these under your belt, I think you're ready for Fox LA.
I think you are. I think that was pretty good. Send it over to Michelle.
That particular one?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, send the segment to her. That's all you have to do. Just email her the segment.
Just say, hey, Michelle, thought you might be interested in my latest segment about rising gas prices. Don't be a chump at the pump. That's it. Boom.
Hey, Michelle. Clint has me doing this don't be a chump at the pump segment all over the country and wanted me to send it to you. Do that.
All right. Cool.
Good. Yeah. Good. Well, what do you think, man? How do you feel about that segment compared to when it began?
Well, I don't have the best memory in the world. I'm 67 years old and my mind isn't what it used to be. But in order for me to do a new segment, I've got to practice that thing for like 7 days, many times a day. It has to be ingrained in my primary memory banks. I got to know it like I know my address. Otherwise, I'm just kind of floundering,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just me or just normal for my age or what, something you could look forward to.
Well,
I
take supplements to try to help my memory.
Really? What do you take?
I just reordered it. Suzanne Summers recommended it.
Send me a link. I want it.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you because you're probably not the only one who wants it. Probably a lot of people want it. This thing is called.
Write this down. Hey. Let me see. Does it help? I mean, do you really see a difference before and after?
I take it, I take 2 of these every day. It's called senolytic complex.
Oh my God. How do you spell that?
Senolytic.
Lytic.
Smart. Senolytic complex. Super smart.
Is that what it's called? Super smart?
Super smart senolytic complex. Now, I take that. But when I have times like during Celebrity Launchpad, when I really need to be sharp, then I take a prescription drug called modafinil, which is an Alzheimer's drug.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Modafinil. Modafinil.
PH?
No.
No.
Modafinil. F-A-N-I-L. Modafinil.
Where do you get the prescription from? Mexico City?
I buy it from India.
Really? Online?
I buy it online from India.
Is it safe for non-dementia patients?
Yeah, I mean, mode alert.
What's it do? Where did you get that idea?
It's a little bit. I read about it from Dave Asprey, Bulletproof Coffee. Okay, the guy from Bulletproof Coffee, and I get it on this website buymoda.org. BUYMODA.org.
Buymoda?
Yeah, buymoda.org.
MODA?
Yep.
Buymoda.org.
Yep. I'll put that in the chat. And I usually get like 100 pills, and I take, when you start out, I recommend you start with half of one, and then that'll make you that'll like jazz you up pretty good.
Really?
Yep. And, you may work up to taking a whole one, but I don't take them very often anymore, because what I have found is that when I was in Acapulco, my memory started getting better because I had less on my mind. And, we live very hectic, crowded lives. And a lot of memory issues is because we have too much on our mind. That's what I think. And if you could just kind of stress less and try to do less, then you will probably find that you'll remember more. So I'm not taking it very often at all. In fact, I only take it when I do my live events and I want to be extra super sharp, which is really great. I used to
Thanks
take
for the tip. And here I thought you were just naturally super smart. You have help.
Yeah. Hey man, I'll take all the help I can get. I will take all the help I can get. But look, think about this though. Think about how, you have to work really hard. And this is for Christine. Christine, this is a good point that I want you to understand, because you're just dipping your toe into this whole thing, and this is all brand new for you. Here's a guy, he says he has to study all week in order to be able to remember what he wants to say, or else he's going to be all over the place. Because if you go into a segment and you don't know exactly what you want to say, they're going to ask you some off the wall question. They always try to ask you some off the wall question. And it's going to, if you didn't know what to say, it would take you way out over here. And then you'd have a hard time getting back over here where you want to be. But if you really know the segment, if you really know the material, then no matter what they ask you, you can figure out how to bring it back to where it's supposed to go. Now, for a guy like Dave Nasani, who has memory issues, think about how helpful it is for him to be able to do the same segment over and over and over and over and over. This was his 44th television appearance. Of those, he's done exactly 2 segments. That's it. His first segment was about being a caregiver, and his second segment is about being a gasoline consumer, mistakes to avoid when you fill up your car at the pump. That's it. And then you may be thinking, well, but don't they want new? Don't they want you to do something new? No, they don't want you to do something new. These TV producers want to see you do the same segment. Like if you go to my website, you will see I have 30 New Year's resolution segments. I have 6 how to make more money because of the lousy economy. Ooh, I should go back out and do that one again. It's been a long time since I've done that one. How to make more money because of the lousy economy. Although, you know, who knows what's going to happen with the economy. How to make more money because of the shutdowns. Anyway, I have a bunch of those. I've got a bunch of income doubler ones. I've got a lot of them on things to say or not to say. Basically public speaking segments. But the real power came, and the reason I got on the Today Show was because I had done 30 TV appearances on New Year's resolutions. And what a TV producer wants is they want to go to your media page, the media page of your website, and they want to see, not only have you done lots and lots of TV appearances, not only do you have lots and lots of videos of you on TV, but you have lots and lots of videos of you doing the same segment over and over and over and over and over. This way, if you suck on their TV show and their boss wants to give them a hard time about it, they can go right to your media page and they can say, hey, how did I know this guy was going to suck? Here he is. He did the same segment on a dozen stations all across the country, and they're all good. See, that's a CYA move for the producer. So that's why especially for a guy like Dave, who can't remember is so good. And I've had other memory issues. You know, I had Fantastic Frank Johnson, who had a traumatic brain injury. And, you know, the only way he was able to remember something was if he had a prop that he could hold up. If he didn't have the props, he wouldn't know what to say. You know, one of the TV producers didn't want him to have props. And I called her up and said, hey, the guy has a brain injury. He can't remember it. The props help him to remember. He holds up a pen. He knows he's supposed to talk about the pen. Then he puts the pen down. He holds up a water bottle and he knows he's supposed to talk about the water bottle. Then he holds up $100. He knows he's supposed to talk about money. You know, this is the way it works. I'd like to get some props in there, Dave. I don't know why you don't have any props. Check the oil. Why don't you have the oil?
Yes, I have a gas nozzle.
The
and you
gas
said-
nozzle is not a prop. Okay.
I got a dipstick.
No, the dipstick is not it. You know what you need? You need a plastic oil can bottle, you know, like a quart of oil in a plastic quart of oil.
Yeah, got oil.
That's the prop. Oh, you got oil? Oh, imagine that. That's the prop.
What else?
Oh, cheap gas is not cheap. You got a $1 bill. You got to have a $1 bill.
Okay. You know, I got the watt hundreds at the end.
The what?
You saw my watt of hundreds at the end.
Yeah, don't shake the props, Dave.
I wasn't shaking it. I was.
You were shaking it like this. Just hold it like this. Just hold it. Just hold it right here. That's it.
All right.
All right. Very good. Dave, what's your advice to people who want to grow up and be like Dave with 44 TV appearances? Hey, type your name in the chat if you wish you had 44 TV appearances. Type your name in the chat. I want Dave to see.
Well, I sent out 42 emails last night. I had to get up early this morning for a doctor appointment. I had to get up at like 7 in the morning, and it was midnight, and I realized that I hadn't made my calls yet. So I, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to go to sleep because I knew I needed to sleep to get up early. I says, you know what? Today's the day, Tuesday. I've got to, that's when they're there. I can't do it Monday, can't do it Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. Today's the day. So I stayed up till 2:15, from midnight to 2:15. I made my emails, 42 producers. This morning, after I came back from the gym, I was on the phone for 2 hours calling new producers. And, while I'm doing it, I hear this voice in the back of my head. What are you wasting your time for? And this and that and this. And I says, because I want to be on the Today Show.
Yeah.
Get lost.
Yeah.
Whoever that voice is, that's why I'm doing it. Because, that little voice will tell you what, you're wasting your time. What's the big deal? How's that going to pay off? Talking about gas stations and saving money at the pump. And, how's that come in with your goals, your long-term goals and this and that? Well, one of my long-term goals is to be on national TV.
Yeah.
It's even on my income doubler mantra,
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of, doubling my income again.
Good.
Which Bitcoin is helping out.
Good. Well, look.
So it's hard work is all I'm trying to say. And how bad do you want it, And what goal will help you get there?
Yeah, I know. It's really interesting, the whole goal setting thing, because, I generally tend to set achievable goals, although I have some big goals that are not achievable, but I'm going after them anyway. I mean, somebody's got to be a New York Times bestseller. Somebody's got to be a #1 New York Times bestseller. Somebody's got to win a Pulitzer Prize. Somebody's got to do these things. Might as well be me. And, I'm reminded all the time of that girl, Malarama, who came from Singapore to Harvard, who had never been on an airplane before. But because she was going to be speaking at Harvard, she got on an airplane for the first time in her life and flew all the way from Singapore to Boston. And I'll never forget her face when she shows up, and, I'm talking to her a little bit, and she goes, "Who else came from Singapore?" And I'm like, "You're the only one." She's like, "I'm the only one?" Yeah. But these big goals, having the big goal will get you to stay up for a couple extra hours. Having the big goal will get you to wake up early. So,
And I really never had a goal of having a movie made about myself. That just kind of happened. That was like frosting on the cake.
is that movie done yet?
No, he's trying to get funding to get help because he's realizing he can't do it all by himself.
He's got to do it. He's got to finish it.
He's got a grant. There's this one place in Palm Springs that's offering him, or at least talking about, I don't know how far in the process they've got a grant. I don't know which, did you get any grants from any of your places?
No. I don't believe in grants. All right, Dave. Well, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. He was up till 2:00 in the morning making calls, which means it was 5:00 on the East Coast. Did you get people on the phone?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people work the midnight to 8 a.m. shift.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good time to call people when you get them at like 1:00 in the morning.
It's good to be on the West Coast too. I've got to make some calls tonight. They're not coming in till like 2 a.m. Central time, so I can call at midnight. Some other people I can call at 10.
See, Christine, what he's talking about, he's got my Rolodex. Inside the members area is Clint's personal Rolodex, right? You're going to open up that Excel file and you're going to turn it into Christine's personal Rolodex of TV producers. You're going to start when you're ready, not yet, but when you're ready, when you've got your segment and your pitch, you're going to start calling these places, and you got to figure out, when is the producer going to be available to take the call? When can you get them on the phone? Because if you can get them on the phone, there's a good chance they will listen to the pitch and book you on their show. And that's how Dave Nasani has got to 44 appearances. He's done a number of appearances from coming to Celebrity Launchpad, but not 44. How many did you do as a result of attending the implementation event?
I booked only 8, and 2 of them backed out for whatever reason. So I only did 6. The rest I booked myself. At 14 before the boot camp even started.
Yep. So
I guess I was a record breaker in those days.
Of the 44, he's done 38 off of cold calls. And,
Yeah.
how many do you have to do before you're going to get on Good Morning America or the Today Show? I don't know. It took me 57. But I was reading through my notes, Kellyanne gets paid to go on Dr. Oz every week now.
I didn't think anybody gets paid to go on.
Yeah, well,
show.
when you get to a point and they really like you and they want you every week, then you get paid to go on the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Dr. Phil is probably paid at the time when he was going on Oprah, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. And, they pay you not necessarily because you're going to make so much money, but because they want you to feel really good about it. Because they got all the money in the world.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Dave. Great job.
Thank you, Clint.
Yep. Congratulations. All right. Now, do we have any people who are coming to Celebrity Launchpad in April who do not have a segment yet? Okay. All right. So let's talk to Olga. Okay. Olga, asking you to unmute. Very nice pink color. I like that. I like your hair. I like your red lips. You look good. My question is, look, are there going to be more storms like in May and June? Are there storms?
Well, in Texas, yeah, we might have it. We could have a hailstorm still late June.
Yeah, but
But
around the country, all around the country, there's going to be more storms, right? There could be hailstorms in the summertime. See,
and then it starts back in September, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not that we have a too big of a break.
See, I don't understand something. I know we all get busy and everything, but you came to Celebrity Launchpad and got invited to go on a lot of shows, but didn't go on any shows, right?
Right.
Okay. And I don't understand it. Except for the fact that I got invited to go on a lot of shows and I didn't go on any of those shows either with the segment that I did.
Well, I guess, I didn't work hard enough to get in touch with all of the producer, because really it was the point where I could not even make a room to do that.
Yeah, I understand.
Not to contact, but I was, I was worried about them contacting me, and I was unavailable.
I understand. You're never going to be unavailable when they contact you. In general, they're going to want you to go on a show at 6:30 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. You can make yourself available for 30 minutes at 6:30 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning, right?
Well, yeah. Right now, when everything calmed down, yeah, they can.
Okay.
But I think it coincide with, a lot of traveling and going here, going there, and just, and then the storm came.
Yeah. Well, Rebecca is saying hurricane season, but hurricane season doesn't start till the end of July, right?
Right.
Hurricanes are generated when the water temperature is 80.
Well, one thing that could happen year round is,
Hail.
just the regular flood, when you are flooding, your appliances are flooding. And it's the same concept, the exact thing, except for repairing the roof, you repair the interior of the house with the same exact procedure by following, filing the claim for
Yeah.
insurance and going through the same exact steps. It's just, I mean, no, I know I could do it year round. It's not,
You see,
it's not,
your segment, mistakes to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm. It's such a great segment.
well, guess nobody liked me. I tried emailing. I was emailing them and
No, I know. I mean, if you did not do mistakes to avoid it, if your home is damaged in a storm, what do you think you would want to do?
I don't know. I think might be running a business with your husband for over 20 years and still married, it's a big thing.
Yeah,
And not killing
I know.
you.
Look, business owners, first of all, you got to find a segment that is going to be very interesting to a lot of people, right? So we have statistics on small business ownership, right? And there are 30 million small businesses in the US in 2019, 30 million. There's probably less now, but let's say there's still 30 million. That's less than 30 million businesses. That's less than 1 in 10 people owns a business. That's less than 10% of the audience.
Okay. Well, the biggest one right now is very unusual. The pipe freeze that we had, and it's still ongoing all over Texas, at least. I could have Houston, San Antonio, and
I mean,
pretty much came down.
No.
well, hold on a second. There you go. Look, my point is this. Your segment, I don't know how much better any segment could be than, mistakes to avoid if your house is damaged in a storm.
Well, maybe because they think storm is kind of, a little bit more of the, like a natural disaster type of like a huge storm, like a tornado or something.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you specifically put it by,
Well, how about don't people do a lot of like home repairs, and isn't it home repair? Like, isn't it like home improvement season? Is it home improvement season?
well, yeah, especially with the COVID, you know how many people started doing their home repairs? It's just, I don't know.
I mean, you could do mistakes to avoid if you're hiring a contractor. That's another classic segment. I haven't seen that one in a long time. Do you have a book?
No,
Okay.
I don't have a book.
Well, I mean, I think a really good book for you, and this would be very good for you, Olga, to have would be a little quick book, which would be called The Consumer's Guide to Hiring the Right Contractor. Okay. Now, that would be a great thing for you to give away to prospects.
Okay.
Sean King, the guy who went from $800,000 to $20 million a year, his book was called The Ultimate Guide to Hiring the Right Contractor. And when you hit a neighborhood, you put those books in the mailbox. Like, just say you're going after a zip code, just say you're going after a little subdivision where there was a hailstorm, right? And all those houses have been hit by hail and they're all going to be warranted, right? You would have somebody go and put this book, this pamphlet, this little guide, the consumer's guide to hiring the right contractor to repair your roof. You could add that on it, right? But for our purposes, if you want to talk about mistakes to avoid when you hire a contractor, you need to have a book about that. Okay? So what do? In this book, you highlight all of the advantages that your company provides that your competitors don't provide. So for example, don't ever hire a contractor if they walk into your house in shoes not covered by rubber booties, plastic covered boots. When we send our workers into your home, if they ever go in your home, their work boots will never touch your clean carpet because they will always be protected by plastic boot covers. You know what I'm talking about? Right? Okay. Number 2, don't ever hire a contractor unless they show you their workman's compensation insurance. If they don't show you, you don't have it.
We don't have.
Okay, look, I don't know what your advantages are, but whatever your advantages are, I'm just saying these are the things that are in your thing. Don't ever hire a contractor unless they give you a written guarantee for at least 10 years on your roof, covering workmanship and materials. Whatever your distinctions of business are, the things that make you better than the next guy, technically. Ultimately, the best thing that's going to make you better than the next guy is you, obviously. But aside from that, that may be one of the things you write. Don't ever hire a contractor unless you personally meet the owner and they give you their cell phone.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Don't ever hire a contractor unless they have a dog. Because if you have a dog and the contractor does not have a dog, they may not care about your dog. But if they're a dog person, they're going to take extra care to make sure that your dog doesn't get injured on the job site.
That's a good one. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what your differences are, but whatever your differences are, you have to put them in that book, along with other ones that are more classic. So let's just say that you're going to create that. You got to have at least the book cover and have it be live on Amazon. Okay. This would be mistakes to avoid when you hire a contractor. Because I think home repair and home improvement season is coming up. After the winter, a lot of people are hiring contractors to do renovation or additions or other projects in the summer and fall, right? This would be a good segment for you if you want to do that. I mean, personally, I think, there's really mistakes to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm is an amazing segment. Okay. If you don't want to do that segment again, I get it. And let's create this segment for you, which is mistakes to avoid when you hire a contractor. You want to do that?
Well, I like the storm better.
You like the storm better? I do too. I'm not opposed to you coming back and doing it all over again, really. And you could say, it's been a really busy storm season. That's how you start the whole thing off. It's been a really busy storm season. My husband and I have been working our tails off, doing repairs on our clients' houses after so many storms this winter. And, with today's extreme weather, there's only going to be more storms and more home repairs. And, we're living our American dream. We came to this country 22 years ago. And today we have a thriving home repair business in that we run ourselves, a family business. And what I want to share with your audience is mistakes to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm. Now, hopefully, like May is a perfect time because there's a lot less storms. Let me think here. No, that you don't want to say that. And then you just go into the same pitch as last time. This is an interesting thing from Dr. Rebecca Hunton. She must have been paying attention lately. This was a good one. Tips to keep your home from being damaged.
I'm totally paying attention.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that shot. That was very nice. What about that? Tips to keep your home from being damaged in a storm.
Well, see, the things that we specialize, it's like hail. How do you protect your home from hail? You can't.
I don't know. You can't, right?
No. The current freeze, there was nothing anybody could do because people had no electricity. They were not able even to start the generators because it was so cold. And some homes were like 4, 5, or 7 days without electricity in that freeze. That was a disaster. Like people literally went to sleep in the car to keep themselves warm.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Yeah. So there's no way to keep your home from being damaged in a storm. Is that true?
No, and when hurricane comes or flood comes, you can't.
Yeah.
No matter
That's
what.
the problem. I mean, your home is meant to keep you safe in a storm. But sometimes the storms are so powerful that it damages the home. But then there's going to be mistakes that you're going to avoid when your home is damaged in a storm. So, let's open that and see if there's anything we can refresh in here. Storm.
Olga, you really gave me a lot of information on dealing with an insurance company, and you were like aghast at what I did. So there might be something in there that, consumers want to know how to handle stuff. And we're assumed we're going to get screwed no matter what.
Well, yeah, but I cannot talk about that on TV.
Never mind.
5 mistakes to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm.
And these are all very good points. I mean, I don't know.
These are great points. It's a phenomenal segment. It really is. Let's see how many storms we've had, like major storms this year. Let's try to just freshen up the statistic. Statistics on storms in 2021.
Maybe just make it less time sensitive where they're waiting for a storm to book her instead of things we could do now.
No. I want her to go on. Like, I don't want something to happen in order for this to be good.
That's what this sounds like. This sounds like waiting until you're damaged already.
No.
Okay.
Well, see, it's not just the one single event. These events happen twice or three times a year throughout, just one state. And throughout the country, it happens year round.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you have to wait for something to happen. It's an ongoing kind of thing. Because if it's not hail, then could be tornado. If it's not a tornado, it could be flood. If it's not flood, it could be a fire. If it's not fire, it's, like we had this first ever in the history of Texas massive freeze, I don't know.
Wow. The 2020 hurricane season was the most active season on record.
Yeah.
Let's just start with that. I mean, look, these were such, this overall statistic thing was just so great because it talked about so many different types of storms. Statistics on storms.
And my point is that I want people to focus on protecting their home, because no matter how much you're protecting, when disaster happens, people are very frustrated. They don't know what to do. They're literally at a loss, like loss of everything. So these are just, great things to talk about, because a lot of people still do not understand how to file an insurance claim and how does it work. So, no matter how many claims and how many storms will work, there are still people who do not understand how it works. They still don't know. Some people don't even know what kind of coverage they have. So,
And having somebody you could ask is great.
So,
I mean, natural disaster statistics, severe weather.
well, like what would any of you would be
Here's what I want to say.
hear about the storms or insurance claim storm?
Well, look, this is what I want to say. All right.
I can't come on insurance very hard because, this is my gold duckling that brings me golden eggs, too. They're the ones who are paying for the repairs. So I cannot be.
The 2020 hurricane season was the most active season on record. Most active on record. Okay. Severe thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorms. Winter storms and cold waves. And tropical cyclones, floods, earthquakes, and other disasters. Other disasters all cause, God, count for, let's see, storm damage statistics. What was the amount? Was it 25 billion?
25 billion, yeah.
For $25 billion in damage annually, right? Okay. The 2020 hurricane season was the most active on record. Severe thunderstorms. Let me just say, thunderstorms, winter storms, forget the word severe. Thunderstorms, winter storms, and cold waves. Winter storms, cold waves, tropical cyclones, floods, earthquakes, and other disasters account for 25 billion in annual damages to American homes. Olga Voloshyna, award-winning storm repair speaker and 30-year storm repair expert, says there are 5 mistakes to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm. There you go. You know, it's the perfect segment for you. It's the perfect segment. It's the perfect segment for you. It's a perfect segment. You know, you just got to have the intention of getting on the shows. Look, there's Clint Arthur's email formula. Do you remember what the email formula is? Email formula.
You mean the email template?
No, there's Clint Arthur's email formula for getting your emails opened and your
The one where you put the subject in a certain way, in a subject line and all that, or what?
I'm going to show it to you. All right. It comes at the end of Celebrity Launchpad. The email formula. Energy. Okay, you have to understand that emails are pure energy. They're electronic energy, right? That means they're electricity. M, you have to manage your emotions. You can't be afraid when you're sending out these things. You can't be angry. You have to manage your emotions. A, you have to have awareness of time. You want these emails to show up. Can you see this or am I not? You can't see this. Hold on. Hold on. I'll do this again. Remember this? E, energy. M, manage your emotions. A, awareness of time. You have to be aware of what time it is when where the producer is and send the email so that it gets there right when they're sitting down at their desk to open up emails. I, intention. This is the key one right here. This is the key. Intention. You have to want them to open the email and you have to want to go on the show. If you have hesitancy about going on the show, if you have hesitancy about them opening the email and taking your time, they're not going to do it. And then L, love, when you press the button to send it, if you can infuse love into pressing that button, it's going to help them to want to open the email.
Well, I remember about the awareness of time and
Yep.
intention, but everything else, it's just somehow I forgot.
You know, you can't just send the email at any time. You have to send it at the time when the producers are going to be at their desks opening emails. Because these people are getting hundreds of emails every day.
Yeah.
And if you don't send it to them at the right time, it's going to get lost in the pile.
Well, I made notes when they said what is the best time for them when they're actually opening the emails.
That's good. That's
mean-
when you need to send it. That's when you need to send it.
But my energy was not there. Because remember?
Yeah. You know, if your energy is distracted, if your energy is, you know, being diluted, you got to just stay focused and make it happen.
Yeah, because we had been on the survival mode for the, like, I don't know, 6 weeks.
I understand. So,
And it didn't work. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
I mean,
I'll work.
I don't know what better segment you can have than this segment right here.
No, I do love the segment. I like this segment a lot.
Yeah, of course. Because it's awesome. It is awesome. All right.
All right, I'll work. I'll make you proud.
Did you see that Kim Kardashian became a billionaire?
When?
Here it is. I'm going to add it to this presentation. Kim Kardashian is officially a billionaire. Sending that to Allie. I'm going to put it in this thing because I had this way back here. Way back here in ways to make money with TV. Trust. Here you go. Status above merit. Caitlyn Jenner, Kim Kardashian. Wow. Kim Kardashian went from a net worth of 65 million a few years ago to now she's a billionaire. What do you anything to that.
Wow.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Do you still have the audio, or do you need?
Me? No, I do.
You do. You know, it's so much better if you already know the segment and you can just pitch the same segment and really hit it this time. And just, you know, you got to want it. If you don't want it, you know, I can put it on a silver platter for you, but if you don't want it, you're not going to get it. And believe me, I understand, because I was invited to go on a lot of shows from the last Celebrity Launchpad, and I didn't do them. I didn't do them either. But I have 110 appearances. See, I don't
Okay.
need 5 more. I don't need 7 more. What I need is giant national TV shows. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be going on all these shows now because it's really time for me to promote my new book, and I really want to promote the new book. Now I know the reason.
No, I do love my segment, and it's just it's yeah, like I said, the energy wasn't there, and I just didn't have it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I am going to work on it.
Okay, well, I'm going to send you this updated one because I want you to notice that the beginning has changed. It's now more streamlined. I will share it with you. Send a copy to, I'm texting you a copy, okay?
Okay.
Hold on.
Thank
you. There you go. And listen, you know, next year's Win the, oh, you're not going to next year's Win the Storm. Look, when you go to these conferences, you got to get awards. You know, you got to apply for stuff.
Well, there is a story behind it. You know, I didn't want to participate this year in particular because you know that it was, I told you right.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well,
I didn't want to be associated.
You know,
No, next year they are talking about having Win the Storm in Miami. So I don't know. Maybe we'll, you know, depends on what they'll bring. They didn't bring half what they had offered. So I don't know.
Well, look, all I'm saying is that I understand that there was a person there who you felt was disreputable. I get that. And you didn't want to be associated with disreputable people, right?
No.
Okay. But at the end of the day, nobody knows that that person is disreputable. Nobody knows that that person was there. At the end of the day, the only thing that people know is that Clint Arthur spoke in front of 2,000 people. And if you had won an award and gotten an award at that conference, the only thing they would have known was, you know, TWH Remodeling and Construction was awarded, you know, best small business contractor at Win the Storm. You can't let other people interfere with your marketing.
Yeah, you're right. But it just, you know, I would not be able to do that. I would not be able to promote myself because, you know, you have to promote within the Win the Storm and have other people voting for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, got to get these awards, and you have your segment. Please note that this has just been streamlined. Make sure you get it. Memorize this beginning part right here. Hey, this year's hurricane season was the most active on record. Thunderstorms, winter storms, cold waves, tropical cyclones, floods, earthquakes, and other disasters rack up $25 billion in damages to American homes every year. I'm going to do this for you. so that you got a really good one. And I want you to really rehearse it.
Okay.
Here we go. All right. Hey, this year's hurricane season was the most active on record. Besides hurricanes, we got thunderstorms, winter storms, cold waves, tropical cyclones, floods, earthquakes, and other disasters, which rack up $25 billion in annual damages to American homes in a regular year. My name is Olga Voloshina. I am the CEO of TWH Remodeling and Construction. I'm an award-winning storm repair speaker and a 30-year storm repair expert living my American dream, running my own family business with my husband, repairing homes. And I say that there are 5 mistakes to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm. The first mistake to avoid is not filing an insurance claim. A lot of people think, oh, if I file a claim, my insurance rates are going to go up. It's not true. Your home is different than a car where you get in an accident and they raise your rates. They can't raise your rates if you file a claim, and it is a big mistake not to file an insurance claim if your home is damaged in a storm. The second mistake to avoid is not working with a storm damage professional. You don't know what to do to repair your home or to file the claim or to get estimates of what it's going to cost. You have to hire a professional person to come in who specializes in storm damage, or else your storm damage is not going to get repaired and paid for by the insurance company the way it is supposed to be done. The third mistake to avoid is not doing the work. Hey, if your house gets damaged, you better be Johnny on the spot, file the claim, and do the work to repair the house, because if it does not get repaired and it's probably going to get worse. And if it does get worse, that additional damage will not be covered by your insurance company. The fourth mistake to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm is doing the work yourself. You know, a lot of people who are silly, they get the check from the insurance company, usually for half the amount of the claim. And it's a lot of zeros on that check. And they're like, oh man, I could save some money if I do the work myself, but it's not true. Storm damage repair has to be done by a professional storm damage company. And if you do it yourself, the insurance company is not going to pay you the rest of the money on the claim, and you're going to miss out on having a properly repaired house, and you're not going to save any money, and you're not going to have the repair done right. And the fifth mistake to avoid if your home is damaged in a storm is committing insurance fraud. Some people, they get a little bit of storm damage and they go, and you'd be surprised the things people will do to try to make the damage worse so that they can claim more insurance money. And if you think an insurance adjuster is not going to know the difference between man-made damages and natural disaster-made damages, you are wrong. And the difference is called insurance fraud, and you can go to jail for that. It's a big mistake. It's not worth it. You should just get what it's supposed to be and never commit insurance fraud. Hey, there's more mistakes. People are making them all the time, but I'm really looking forward to sharing these 5 mistakes to avoid when your house is damaged in a storm with everybody in your audience who lives in a home, because the storm season is expected to be even worse in 2021. Okay?
Right.
Yep. There you go. Olga. There you go. All right. Well, look, folks, you saw how it works. You saw one of our magic messengers on TV doing his segment. Then you saw me working with Olga on revising her segment and creating the pitch for her. And this is how it goes. I mean, you know, the interesting thing is that it really just comes down to doing the work. That's what it's all about, doing the work. It's not magic. It's not miracles. It's a formula. And this is how it goes. And if you want to become somebody, it's just like in business. You got to do the work, show up every day, put in the time, make the phone calls, and do what you got to do. Because I'm looking forward to seeing you on television. Good night, everybody.
Good night.